McCauley, and everybody watches accesstv.org. Peace.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it like this. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Do it like that. Yeah. Ba-boom.
This is Jonathan Small broadcasting the Small Report from Access TV Studios in downtown Hartford. Today is August the 28th, 2012. We had a little bit of rain today in the capital city here in Hartford, but overall the weather pattern is becoming a lot clearer, and we expect to have a very nice day. I know there's a possibility of the storm hitting the southeastern section of our country. It could drift in many other different areas. Hopefully it's not going to be as devastating as the hurricane that took place, particularly for New Orleans in 2005. The weather pattern overall, I would say, for our area has been very lovely over the past couple of months. Today, I kind of want to address two particular issues that I think is relevant throughout our society. I'm going to deal with jobs and drugs. Yesterday, they found a dead body here in Hartford, not too far from the downtown area. And it's kind of ironic because our police chief, James Ravella, was on a program yesterday talking about many different issues on an access station here in Hartford. And basically, the program ended about, let's say, 2 o'clock. Now, the report of the dead body being found on a section in the North End was found about 2:30 p.m. The police are still investigating to determine has it been a homicide or not. Members of the family said the man was beaten to death. So there's still an investigation process. But if you look at an area where you have crime and neglect and decay and disorder, and you would say what would be the best way to solve and rebuild that particular area, would you say cleaning up the environment, mainly the drug market, the drug underground economy, or just coming in, arresting people and trying to put businesses and bring jobs? We've had the Hartford Shooting Task Force over the past year that has targeted getting a lot of guns and drugs off of the streets. It's done an excellent job. I would give it an A grade as far as getting some of your hardened criminals and your guns and drugs directly off of our streets. But once you do all of that, there's still a lot of issues that you still got to look at what still exists. The drug problem kind of affects so many different areas, if not everything in your society, that if you try to bring in economic development where you have a drug market, an underground drug economy, and you leave that structure, that economy in place, then I think bringing in jobs is just going to give people more of an opportunity to purchase drugs, to invest in drugs, and you're not really getting at the root of your problem. I would like to see you take the approach of trying to clean up your drug-infested environment. Come in, try to replace that drug market with legitimate economic development and businesses. Not so much just take drugs and remove drugs and then leave the environment with nothing in place. That's where I think economic development and bringing in businesses and growth can now flourish. Unfortunately, we as a society in urban America in particular has not really done a good job at doing that. Now, the police chief did address one issue about the drug scenario, indicating that if you took 60% of the drugs out of your particular market, and at some point the drug prices would instantly increase. So now that's going to give the people who have a drug addiction the need now to do more break-ins, more robberies, vandalisms, all other avenues to try to get money to buy drugs. And that's what our police chief, James Ravella, said yesterday actually on the Access station. Not so much word for word, but he understands that if you take a lot of drugs out of your society and you still have a drug addiction and a drug dependency, then the prices of your drugs, because there's just not enough drugs to offset what you've lost, is going to have to go up. And with the demand and the addiction still there, the people that have that desire and need to purchase drugs is going to have to come up with more money. So saying a bag of crack that would ordinarily sell for $10 a bag could now be selling for $40 a bag. And that just means that the person has to come up with $40 for the same purchase of a $10 bag, because it's just not enough of the drugs that's out there. So it's a devastating trap and that we've allowed ourselves to get into as a society. Now, the argument for people saying, well, why is so many men out there dealing drugs, marijuana, crack, heroin, cocaine, angel dust, PCP? Well, it's simple arithmetic and common sense, as what Christopher Williams said in the movie New Jack City. When Wesley Snipes told him, what is an educated brother like you from the bank working amongst a bunch of thieves and hoodlums? He said, again, basic arithmetic and common sense. It's me working for the bank, and this is 1991, for $800 a week, or me being part of your cartel for $8,000 a week. Meaning that basically Christopher Williams was going to use his computer skills that they was portraying him in the movie to set up the big operation of taking over apartment buildings, hooking up the computer systems, utilizing that skill, and then generating the type of money that crack cocaine was generating at all-time high in the early 90s. So again, $800 a week, having an honest paying job at the bank, or $8,000 a week being part of the drug cartel. He made the decision to give up the job at the bank and go and work in the cartel. This was a movie now, obviously New Jack City, but this happens in real life. So meaning that if you don't even have enough jobs available for the people that have the proper skills and criteria and experience, now you're trying to provide a need for jobs for people who don't, who have felonies on their record, who have tremendous work gaps, who have other issues of drug problems that you just can't pass a drug test. It's very difficult for those individuals to hold down a job or even get into a legitimate business. Now, when you have a legitimate product or an illegal product, obviously, with drugs, and you have an individual that can get access to it, and basically, again, getting access to a product at a very low price and getting a high rate of return, you have a tremendous competition that you're going up against in your society. You can talk about working a job for $250 a week after taxes for an individual who has very little experience or training, and then you're talking about a guy who feels he can make $250 a day. Again, a very hard market to compete. So I feel we have to bring in economic development and businesses at different levels to match the individuals that you have out here. But you got to clean up your drug environment. You can't leave a drug dependency society structurally in place, because it's not going to really solve or provide a community the real type of city that you really need to have to really flourish and be prosperous and not have the major problems that you're having. Not to say that you're not going to still have issues, even if you deal with the drug problem and you clean up your drug environment, somebody's always going to find the need to do something wrong. But your numbers are instantly going to decrease, because the drug market and the underground drug economy is a major factor in why you have so many crimes and underlying issues. So we got to make up our mind, are we going to do something unique and different, or are we going to continue doing the same thing? Our police chief said he would like to work with the faith-based initiative groups here in the greater Hartford area, which they're doing pretty much all over the country, but you don't find too many police chiefs saying that he directly wants to be part of the faith-based initiatives. But right now, in basic arithmetic, you just don't have enough jobs and employment options for the many people that exist in your society. When you're talking about a high crime area, it's very difficult to attract new businesses to come into a high crime, high tax area. The drug problem or the drug market, the illegal factors of drugs, is a big factor why you have a high crime, high tax inner cities and other areas. in your society. So our elected officials are going to have to one day make up their mind that they're going to have to do something totally unique beyond the norm, and drugs is going to play a big role. What I'm saying is really, if you have a house and you're talking about bringing in a lot of nice furniture, bringing in a lot of nice accessories, but you're going to leave your house with broken down windows, broken down structures, fixtures, plumbing, electrical work. Eventually, what good is having nice furniture and nice accessories mixed with bad plumbing, bad electrical work, bad carpentry? So again, if you're talking about a place where you have a high unemployment problem and a high crime problem, and you're talking about bringing in jobs, but you're going to leave your underground drug economy in place, how is that picture really going to blend? I mean, is it going to really be effective to bring in a company with 100 employees, not that far from a crack house or an underground drug market, and these individuals that you are watching selling drugs, you might try to arrest them and get rid of them. That's still going to leave a vacancy for another group of people. Law enforcement definitely plays a role in providing public safety, and it can definitely go after the real players in the game. But at some point, as long as the demand side exists for drugs, then you're going to always have the market side to sell drugs. Somebody's going to find a way to sell drugs one way or the other. So eventually we have to look into your policies. Do you try to reform the drug policies that exist? Medicalization, legalization, decriminalization. Those are all options that many grassroots organizations has advocated. It's a tremendous problem that we have in our society. It's one thing to talk about telling people to find jobs and work, and then having a drug market or drug problem hanging over your head. It's like no matter where you go, even if you're working, you still find yourself at risk because, you know, people can still rob you for your money that you work for. We've had people in our city and other parts of our country being killed because people just wanted money for one reason or the other. So you got to look at the whole issue of cleaning up your drug infestment society and then connecting that to bringing in legitimate opportunities. You can't kind of do one really without the other, not in a high crime, drug infested environment. So again, it's a major problem. I mean, it just affects so many different areas of our society. I'm not saying that you can't move on and not seek opportunities even though you live in a drug environment or underground drug culture. It's just going to make your process a lot difficult to really fulfill everything that you would like to see for your community, not just for you as one individual. So at some point, our legislators, our community people have to sit down with legitimate policymakers and say, we want our community really cleaned up. We really want to do something to make our neighborhoods turn into vital communities beyond just talking about arresting people, putting more people in jail, and then other people find a way to penetrate into that area and participate in that underground market. Because again, it's very difficult to compete with a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week guaranteed operation. There's a lot of major drug busts that does take place that takes away the drug market, drives up the prices, and does put a dent at times in this economy. But overall, you still have the market availability and the demand side for drugs. And at the same time, you really have no economic development and no strong job market directly in that area. So I would say, in my opinion, clean up your drug infestment communities first. Bring in legitimate opportunities, economic development in the process of while you're cleaning up your drug infestment area. I don't think it's a good sign to function in a high crime, drug infestment city, in a society, especially when you have no job market or no job growth or no job potential on a large scale. Not I'm talking about a few jobs, I'm talking about a large scale of job growth opportunities. So I might bring this issue up before the weekend. I might have a better solutionary process. I think just giving you something to look into, to think about. Today's topic clearly was a controversial topic, talking about drugs in particular, and then bringing in your jobs to go along with your drugs scenario. So I enjoyed myself, like the time flew by very fast today. This program, The Small Report, is again seen online Monday through Friday, every day at 12 o'clock to 12:15 on wwaccess.org. And again, I'm going to try to follow up on this particular topic again, get a little bit more solutionary to this problem. Again, this is Jonathan Small doing the Small Report. I hope everybody over the internet scene has a very nice day. And until the next time I see you again, God bless you and keep the faith. This is Jonathan Small ending the Small Report. Thank you.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it like this.